Hello, my name is Jose Carrasco. I'm the president for the New Mexico State Police Association. Just want to make this video to bring some issues up front that need to be talked about. And one of the things that needs to be said um, is the attack on law enforcement by our current legislators. My my constituents, which are my brothers and sisters that elected me to be the president of this association, contacted me. Several people contacted me and said that they are tired, they're hurt, they're upset, they're angry, they're emotional. If you can imagine, we're just going through this still. It's still here. What happened to our brother, um, Darian Jarrett, on Thursday? It's still fresh, and people are hurt. They want their voices heard, and they reached out to me and said something's got to be said. You got to reach out to people, um, and because it's a closed session, there's no way of me going to committees and letting people know, bringing people with me to let them know what's going on, what's going on in our world. But when you have senators and representatives personally attacking law enforcement, creating laws that basically tie our hands so we can't enforce the laws, we can't protect ourselves, we can't protect the citizens. Something finally has to be said, and it must be said. And I'm here to say something. I know it's going to upset some people. Um, I know it's going to upset some people, but when you have people like Senator Linda Lopez, who is sponsoring Senate Bill 227, which is called the Inspection of Police Misconduct, that's not actually what it's doing. What it's doing is it's taking the tools away from us, our less lethal option tools, to be able to affect an arrest peacefully and without having to use any deadly force. However, Ms. Lopez is taking that ability away from us. For example, when serving a search warrant at a residence, Ms. Lopez wants us to knock and announce loudly, which we do, by the way, our presence and that we're law enforcement, and the intent, which is a search warrant. We do that. And if there's a doorbell, ring the doorbell, wait a minimum of 45 seconds, and then go in there. When we go in there, we cannot go in there with a rifle, a shotgun. So that takes less lethal shotgun out of play. We can't use a stun gun. We don't use stun guns. Concussion grenade, OC spray, CS gas, ever. A canine, we can't even use a canine anymore, like at all. You're taking all the tools that we used to go in there and hopefully take the people or person into custody without having to use lethal force. You're taking that away from us. I hope and I pray that I can at least have a fighting chance and have my ballistic vest on when I go into the residence. I hope that we can still do that. But when we go in there, I don't know if Senator Linda Lopez knew this or not, but when we go to somebody's residence to serve a search warrant, that person or persons did something pretty bad that we need to go to their house, get them out of their house to take them to jail. So when somebody like that is given an additional 45 seconds to arm themselves, because in this country and in this state, I believe, I'm not too sure, but you can have guns in your house. And when bad people don't want to go to jail and they have guns, they have the ability and sometimes the intention to use them against law enforcement, or trying to take them out of their house to take them to jail because of something that they did, because of the investigation turned us to that person. So when you're trying to take away our tools, man, and you still require us to resolve the situation peacefully without force and without deadly force, you are creating a situation where deadly force is going to be used. However, it's going to be the criminal using deadly force on the officers that are trying to enforce your laws that you wrote and your senators and representatives wrote and passed. So that bill is scaring thousands of officers in this state. I don't know if that bill was well thought out. The way I read it, I don't believe so. I might be reading it wrong. So, but stuff like that is what's going on in this current session, trying to take tools away from us to actually do our job safely, and hopefully safely and peacefully resolve the situation. So no lethal force has to be used. Senator Egoff, qualified immunity, trying to take away qualified immunity. One of the last tools that we have left to protect us from frivolous lawsuits. You're trying to take that away from us. And those are things that officers have right now to at least protect them. There's a federal standard already, yet you want to make this a state level standard. Cool, I get it, I understand. A lot of stuff has been going on for the past, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. I get it. And officers mess up. We're not perfect. We've never said we're perfect. We're human. But I guarantee you, sir, I don't know if you guys did the studies or not, but 99% of the officers do a great job. There are some bad officers, and when they get caught, they get dealt with, and they get dealt with legally and the right way, which they should. We hate it when a police officer makes us look bad, because it's not their department that looks bad, it's the entire law enforcement community that looks bad. However, there are bad senators, bad representatives, bad doctors, bad priests, bad nurses. There's bad in every single profession, but yet we're the ones that get picked on nonstop. And one thing that I wanted to tell you, Mr. Egoff, and I wish I could tell you face to face, is that my brothers and sisters did not appreciate you making a comment about our brother at all. It wasn't even heartfelt. We would just wish that you would just didn't say anything about our fallen brother, because he is one of the ones that you're trying to take the rights away from too. So I just wanted to tell you that I didn't appreciate it. My brothers and sisters in the New Mexico State Police Association didn't appreciate it. So we'll move to the next one. The next one is, and I forgot the senator's name or representative's name. She is trying to reduce the minimum sentence, HB 140 of criminals, minimum sentence. So somebody that commits a rape on a child, they want to remove the minimum sentence. And there's other heinous crimes in there that she wants to reduce the minimum sentence. As the law stands right now, some of these people that commit some horrendous crimes are even out of the street. They're out in the street before we even leave the parking lot of the jail. This only makes it worse when the minimum sentences are being removed, and the criminals are allowed to go back in the street to continue their life of crime, continue victimizing our families, breaking into their homes, stealing their cars, stealing their identity, committing all kinds of crimes, killing, murdering people. I don't know if you knew this or not, but the crime in New Mexico is out of control. It's out of control. And for us to gain that control back by passing these bills, you make it impossible, because you're giving them more rights, the criminals more rights than the officers. There's somebody that's even trying to take away the officers' Bill of Rights. Take away the officers' Bill of Rights. The only last piece of document that we have to protect us, the Bill of Rights and qualified immunity, and they're being taken away from us. But yet you're giving criminals more rights, less time in jail when they're convicted. I understand everybody has a due process. Everybody has a due process, but when it comes to law enforcement, you're not giving us due process. You're taking away our rights. You're making us guilty by association. Is what you're doing. So when you take away those tools from us, the crime is going to continue to skyrocket to a point where you'll have no law enforcement, or they won't be able to do their jobs efficiently and correctly as you would, because even when we follow the law and you call us to your house and you explain to us what happened, and we explain to you what happened, what the law is, and that we can't do anything because this is what the law says. You guys don't like us and kick us out of your house, right, Mr. Candelaria? You just kick us out of your house. So we enforce the law the way we are trained to enforce the law. But when you don't like it, then we're the bad guys. We're the ones that always take that hit. And now with all this going on, qualified immunity, this Ms. Lopez's, Senator Lopez's bill trying to take our tools away. You are guaranteeing one thing. You're guaranteeing that what happened to my brother this past Thursday will not happen again to another officer. And the reason I say that is if these bills pass the way you guys have them, there will be no law enforcement left to enforce those laws. Therefore, that won't happen again. That will happen to the citizens. That will happen to your family, because the criminals will have the upper hand on any law enforcement that's left in this community, in this state. And you're basically guaranteeing that crime will continue to spike and get so out of control that it's going to be almost impossible to grasp and get a hold of again. To the citizens of New Mexico, please reach out to your senators, your representatives. Stand by your law enforcement officers. We cannot have another officer killed in the line of duty, doing their job, protecting you. We should be protecting them. Keep them enforcing the laws. Keep your community safe from people and criminals like the one this past Thursday. And I wanted to use some words of a representative, some words that she used in one of the subcommittees this past summer, or I believe that was after the special session. It really bothered me. And I just wanted to use her words to explain that this past Thursday, our officer, Miss Stapleton, didn't but anyone. That was done to him. He was trying to enforce the laws, get drugs and guns off the streets to protect your children, my children, everybody's children, our communities, and he was gunned down. Please, guys, help us talk to these senators and representatives and get our message out that we need to stand by law enforcement. And to my brothers and sisters in the association, New Mexico State Police Association, and throughout this state, please understand that we need to come together and we need to stand together, but we also need to continue doing our job the way we were trained to do and to uphold the laws and constitutions that we swore to uphold. Keep protecting your citizens. We have your back. I know our chain of command has our back. They will stand by us, and they love us. And it's clearly shown, the chief clearly showed that is true. So please, if you need something, please reach out to me. I will find you answers. I will do what I can to help you out. But please also spread the word and send messages, emails, calls, texts to your representatives and your senators in your districts, so that way this gets heard. Thank you.